Hey guys, welcome into this is Brad with College SportsCast. I've got John Roberts on with me tonight. May add John Hammonds a little bit later. I'm not real sure. He might jump on with us as well. But we are going to be doing our college football playoff. New Year's Six major bowls are coming up this next week, and we're kind of excited about doing that. So, John, you just finished watching the Florida State Oklahoma game.
Yep. Yep. Looks like Florida State just pulled it off with a field goal with 57 seconds left to go in the game and won the game 35-32.
35-32. So
Correct.
Florida State, I think that was a 10-win season for them, wasn't it? I
No.
think they were 9-3.
Wait. Florida State versus Oklahoma. Yes. I think they were the nine-win team, and I believe Oklahoma was a 6-6 team.
They were.
Yeah. So then, yes, that would put Florida State at 10 wins.
Yep. Hammonds is on in the chat room for some reason. I don't know. He says yes when I said 10-win season for Florida State. So, What in the world's he saying now?
You don't want to know.
Good grief. All right. So, Florida State, a 10-win season's a pretty big mark for them from the beginning of the year. Mike Norvell done a heck of a job this year. And that's the Cheez-It Bowl, John.
Cheez-It. I said some weird things were going to happen in that game, and there was a few weird things. I mean, Oklahoma had a 14-3 lead. They were running in for a score to go up 21-3, but
Mark Cox, I am not shaving the beard, so you have nothing to worry about.
And then, anyway, so they got called for a holding penalty. It came back. They ended up getting pushed back, missed the field goal, and then Florida State on the ensuing drive went down, scored a touchdown, made it 14-10. So something that could have been a 21-3 lead turned into a 14-10 lead, and all momentum at that point was on Florida State's side. And it just didn't seem like Oklahoma really had it after that. Even though, they started trading blows at that point, it didn't really feel like Oklahoma had it. And that,
right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I think Oklahoma finishing 6 and 7 is probably, I know it's a disappointing season, but to finish under 500 is really kind of a bad season.
Yeah, since they've been, where they've been, since the early 2000s, or even the late 90s, it just, from the Bob Stoops era on, it just seems like they
10 wins is pretty much 10 plus is the norm.
Correct.
Yeah.
You would think that they go 10-2, at worst, or 10-3, with the 10th win being in the bowl game. But yeah, this is the first time that they've been, sub 500, and I'm going with, pre Bob Stoops or Bob Stoops' first year. I don't think they've been. I don't think they've been anywhere close to that, during the Bob Stoops or the Lincoln Riley era. So, and
yeah,
now with Brent Venables,
it's. I would classify it as a bad year. 6 and 7.
Oh yeah, that's a bad year.
Yeah,
that's a bad year.
Yeah. So I want to throw this out here. This was before today's games. There was 3 games going on today. Before today's games, there was 25 bowl games played.
Okay.
So far, I'm 19 and 6.
It's
on my picks.
not bad, and I haven't tallied up. I don't know what I am.
I just want to say, so far I'm 19-6, and then there's been 2 games finished today. The Florida State-Oklahoma game that we were talking about, and Minnesota-Syracuse, and I've got both of those right, so that puts me at 21-6.
It's pretty good. I don't think I'm that good. I'm pretty certain I've lost more than 6 in this bowl season.
We're fixing to do our game day pick'ems. I'm just saying, y'all might want to pay attention because I've been getting a lot of these right. But this next week's games are the games that's going to be really hard, difficult to pick. I think some of them are. So we'll see how this next week goes. But so far, I've been doing really good. So I'm going to say, Hammonds, I ain't lying. And you ain't doing as good as I am. That's why you're not even on here. You don't even want to do it. It don't have nothing to do with about the darn Cowboys. So apparently the Dallas Cowboys are playing a Thursday night game or something. I mean, who knew?
Who cares?
I mean, who knew is what I got to say, honestly.
Yep.
See, even Hammonds is laughing at that.
Yep.
All right. Hey, I appreciate all the comments. Mark Cox was in there a couple of times. Andy Gill. So I appreciate the comments. Y'all keep them coming. Hammonds has been in there several times, but I just want to say we appreciate the comments. And now Hammonds is saying bye. Commercial break must be over in the Dallas game or something. There's Robert Rhodes. Robert Rhodes says he's 20-7. Good job, Robert. I'm pretty sure, counting today's 2 wins, I'm 21-6. I'm pretty sure. And Robert Rhodes has been on with us in the chat room and commenting and stuff before too. So, good job, man. That's pretty good. The Packers beat y'all's ass. That's all I'll say. And we're going to try to keep going with Minnesota this week.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll make the playoffs. Who knows? Surprise the crap out of some people. Because about 4 weeks ago, nobody thought the Packers were going to make the playoffs,
including us.
Exactly. You are right about that, Roberts. And just so y'all know, John Roberts and I are both Packers fans. So,
yeah. So I'm definitely not doing good. I actually am sub 500. I thought I was at least 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I just
wanted to throw that out there.
Oop. Oh wait, no, hold on. I got that one. Wait, I missed one. I'm still sub 500. I'm just adding one that I missed. I missed the Oregon one. I mean, I got it. I got the Oregon one right. I called it right. I just didn't write it down. So, I think I have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've won 13. So I'm 13-14, I believe. Is that right? 13-14?
Yeah, there's
27.
Now there's 27, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 13-14.
Because there's 2 finished today, so. Yeah.
Because I think that's right. I'm pretty certain I'm right on that. But doesn't really matter.
All right, so I guess we'll get started on tomorrow's games. The first game tomorrow is the game that I always say just irks me just a little bit. I have a little sensory issues, and the whole Duke Mayo Bowl and the mayonnaise just kind of irks my soul. So Maryland is playing NC State. Maryland 7-5. NC State is 8-4, and NC State is favored by 1. I'm guessing that Devin Leary is not there since he's in Lexington. Well, they may not be in Lexington right now. They're in Music City, but so I don't know who's going to be the quarterback for NC State.
See, that's strange because I didn't think that Grayson McCall was going to play in the Coastal Carolina game, and he did.
And he did, and got hurt, by the way.
And then got hurt. And they were in the game until he went out, and from then on, they got blasted.
Yeah, he transferred or put his name in the transfer portal. I'm not sure that he's actually signed with anybody, so that may be the difference.
Yeah, and see, that was because they were
There's some grade issues.
It's credits. You know, it's credits being transferred, and the fact that I know at Auburn, in order to transfer everything, he needed 30 hours before he could come to Auburn, which meant that he couldn't come until August. If he was going to go to Auburn, he couldn't go until August. Florida was the same way, which is why Florida just signed or just got Graham Mertz from Wisconsin.
That means he could compete in the fall.
He can compete in the fall, but he won't get there for the spring practices, or he won't be there for summer workouts or anything like that. He have to wait until the fall, until August, the first week of August,
right?
Before he could come, and that was for both Auburn and for Florida, because I think Florida had the exact same
with
issue.
Anybody, and he went on and played for Coastal Carolina,
correct,
and then got hurt, which was a little, so I'm not exactly sure how bad the injury is.
Don't know what the status of the injury is, but at the same time, because he got hurt, because he could not sign with Florida went and got Wisconsin's quarterback, Graham Mertz. So
right.
Yeah.
All right. So the Maryland, Florida State. I know Florida State is probably known for a little bit better team. Maryland has Tua's little brother as their quarterback. I don't know if everybody in the country knows that. He's
Talia,
of course. It's close to the same. I mean,
it's Talia Tungavaloa.
Talia Tungavaloa, something like that. I don't know. I can't say it.
No, you can't.
I can't say it.
Yeah, you're bad at pronouncing names.
Odd names or
any names. I mean, Harrison,
John Roberts is pretty easy.
Instead of Coach Harsin, it was Coach Harrison. Let's see. Instead of Landrum Roberts, it was Landon Roberts.
No, I didn't call him.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Check the tape. Check it.
Well, that was probably just an accident.
Yeah. So, but the names are hard.
I really have a hard time. I'm not. I tried to do foreign language in school, and I was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I barely can speak English, so
Yeah, I can't do that.
All right, so in this game, for me, NC State's had some trouble on the defensive side of the ball, but Maryland has had trouble all year long on the defensive side of the ball. They're 7-5. That's kind of been the reason why they are 7-5. They've struggled on defense. So even without Leary, I think I'm going to go with NC State.
Just remember, bowl games and some of these teams, defense is optional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't, this is a tough game to pick if you ask me. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with NC State. Who you got?
I'm actually following suit on NC State.
Okay. All right. So the next game we're going to talk about is the Sun Bowl. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, actually.
It must be great.
Must be. So we have Pittsburgh 8-4 versus UCLA 9-3. UCLA is an 8-point favorite in this game, and it's played tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time.
DTR.
Yeah. As far as I know, he is playing.
No, I wanted just you to define the reason.
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding.
Yes, yeah, right.
I'm full of it now.
As far as I know, he's playing. Don't you think? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I heard otherwise. I
haven't heard otherwise. And they're favored by 8, so that makes me think that he is playing. I'll probably go with UCLA in this game over Pitt.
Me too.
All right.
And trying to think. Yep. Yeah, I will.
Okay. So then next is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. And this one's going to be a fun one. This is the South Carolina versus Notre Dame. John Hammonds is calling this one the Lou Holtz Bowl.
As it should be named.
So they're both 8-4, Notre Dame and South Carolina. Notre Dame is actually favored by 3.5, even though South Carolina won 2 huge games towards the end of the year, beating Tennessee and beating Clemson. Of course, Notre Dame also beat Clemson. So
this is also the we beat the teams in the Orange Bowl game.
Yeah.
South Carolina beat both of them.
Right.
All right.
And
In the last couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, and Notre Dame beat Clemson.
That's right. Beat the team that they played. That's in that game.
Right.
So that's we beat the Orange Bowl. So whoever wins the Gator Bowl will be the de facto Orange Bowl champion. Because if UCF can be a national champion, then the winner of the Gator Bowl should be the Orange Bowl champion.
Well, let me just say there's way too much orange in the Orange Bowl.
I don't think there's enough orange in the Orange Bowl.
There's
in fact,
way too much orange.
They both need to wear their orange jerseys.
It's way too much orange in the Orange Bowl, man. God.
That's just the Kentucky blue in you.
It's terrible. Wow. Anyways. So is Beamer Ball gonna beat Notre Dame in this one?
God, both of them were riding, got hot at the end of the season and won some key games because even Notre Dame beat, believe they beat USC right there at the end too, right?
They did.
They pulled that one out, and because that was the game that I think
About
Caleb
2 or 3
Williams
weeks
was
before
like,
that beat Clemson. So
like having to be carried from to the next snap because of how bad he was hurt in that game.
right.
But you have both teams were riding, momentum going into the off period, but both have had a month off. So I don't know, if we can
that
really
momentum. You can't really
that.
talk about momentum because they've had so much time off.
There's 4 to 5 weeks off. There's no such thing as momentum,
Right.
Until the game starts. But at this moment, I would like to say South Carolina, but I have this feeling that Notre Dame's going to do it. So
I am an SEC guy, and I think most people know that. I normally kind of go with the SEC in most of my picks. Not all the time, but in most of them I do. I really think the job that Marcus Freeman has done to turn it around, because, I mean, they were like 1-3 or 0-3 or something like that at the beginning of the year. And for him to finish up 8-4, knock off Clemson, knock off USC, and keep them from being in the playoffs, I'm going to go with Notre Dame in this game. I just think they will have a slight, and I mean slight, edge in this game. I really don't think it'll be that much. So I got a question up for anybody that's watching. Got what New Year's Six Bowl are you looking most forward to watching? So if anybody's on with us, y'all chime in. And then tomorrow, the Arizona Bowl has got Ohio, not Ohio State, just Ohio, 9-4 against Wyoming, 7-5. And Ohio is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. And it's a Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. So
Barstool.
Yep. So I remember seeing Wyoming play early in the year. About week 2 or 3, they played somebody. Maybe it was Vanderbilt. Was it Vanderbilt they played? They played somebody early on, and I remember watching part of it. And then I want to say they won a game early on over somebody that I didn't think that they would win as well. So just to kind of give you a little bit of – I do remember seeing them play. They played somebody early in the season. I'd have to look it up. What do you think, Roberts?
Who you got?
Ohio 9-4 versus Wyoming.
And you're picking?
Well, I was trying to go back and look. So they played Illinois and got beat pretty big. Wyoming did. I tell you who they beat. They beat Air Force, who won a bowl game, finished 10-3. I knew they won a game early on, and they hung in tight with BYU. And I remember they wound up losing by 14. But I knew they played a couple of games early on. They also played Tulsa and won that game. So I just thought I'd throw a few out there.
Yeah, I'm going Ohio.
Ohio?
Yep.
All right. They're 9-4. Trying to kind of look back at their schedule. They got walloped by Penn State, got walloped by Iowa State, and they got beat by Kent, and then pretty much won everybody else.
You said Ohio? You're going Ohio?
I'm trying to decide. You know, I think I'll go different and go Wyoming in this game.
All right.
So
the school of Josh Allen.
Not Kentucky's Josh Allen.
And not Bama's Josh Allen, but but Buffalo Bills Josh Allen.
Oh, okay. All right.
He went to Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yes.
Aren't they the Cowboys?
I believe so. Yes.
I think so. I believe that's right.
Yes.
So then we're going to move on to the way too much Orange Bowl. and we got Tennessee versus Clemson. And their rank is 6 versus 7. So it's one of the better bowl games and better matchups, I think. Of course, Tennessee's going to be without their quarterback, Hendon Hooker. He got hurt in the South Carolina game and won't be playing.
We'll
And
also be without Jalen Hyatt and one other
yeah,
guy.
Jalen Hyatt is opting out.
Mhm.
DJ transferred, but Dabo
the better quarterback is playing.
Right. Dabo finally is putting in his 5-star freshman kid, and that's the reason why DJ is transferring anyway. I think he transferred and announced the other day he's going to Oregon State, just to throw that in here.
Correct. Who beat Florida in their bowl game.
Right. So, anyways, just kind of wanted to throw that in there since I was talking about that. And I still think this should be a really competitive game. In my opinion, Tennessee, with everybody available that they have had for the season, they probably were the little bit better team. Tennessee is probably missing a little bit more than what Clemson is missing. So that probably evens this game out a little bit, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Where are you going to go with this? Which orange are you going with?
I'm going to go with Clemson. And the reason why I'm going to go with Clemson is because I just think they're the more experienced team. In terms of
they have the better defense,
bowl games, and postseason and anything like that. I just think that they're more experienced. Now, are they more dejected because in past years they should be, they should be in the playoff? Possibly. Maybe, and that could definitely lean in Tennessee's favor, because teams like Utah beat the snot out of Bama when Bama doesn't make it. So you've got that factored into it, but I don't think they're going to get crushed. And
no, I don't think. I think it's actually going to be a competitive
while
game.
Milton has a hand cannon for an arm.
He does.
He has a tendency to be wildly inaccurate, where he may put it, 20 rows up in the stands from the 50-yard line when he needed to hit just a crossing route or something like that. So I don't trust him to hit the easy passes. However, he may hit some of the deep balls. So yeah, he might hit the deep ball and then miss everything, like any sort of wide receiver screen.
He might be 7 of 30 and still have 285 yards.
Correct. I mean, that is very possible, and I mean legitimately possible that he could be 7 of 30 and be 200 and whatever yards passing.
Yeah, right.
And because he'll hit, 3 or 4 30-yard passes, and that'll get at least at minimum half his yards, right there.
And a couple of 50 maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to evaluate this game because of just some of these odd factors. But
I mean, Clemson's quarterback has not started, but he's been playing some.
And he's been playing better than the starter.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the thing, is that he has played better than the starter.
Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik.
I probably butchered that name too. So
Joe Milton, right? Joe Milton and Cade Klubnik.
Yeah. If y'all even catch me and I don't say names too often, that's probably why I butcher half of them. So,
Uyungale.
No, DJ. I call him DJ. I don't even try.
DJU.
Exactly. That's
What's his name? DJU.
DJU.
So, but who you got?
God,
you're going SEC, aren't you? You want to?
I do
You
want to.
You don't like Tennessee, but you want
I
to.
don't, but I want to go SEC. You're right.
Yeah. See, I know it. I can tell.
I do want to go SEC in this
Just
game.
go SEC. Just go.
I think I am going to pick Tennessee in this
Oh, look at that,
game.
John. John, look at that. Look at that. Brad is a Tennessee fan.
No, Brad is not
You
a
like
Tennessee fan.
you like those creamsicle colors, don't you?
Oh God, no, I don't. There's not an uglier color on the face of this earth. Well, maybe a shade of green, maybe.
You aspired to be Fulmer.
No, I've only liked two
Johnny Majors.
Tennessee football players in my entire life. Two.
Reggie White is one of them.
You're exactly right. Reggie
I know.
White. I
See,
loved
I
Reggie
got it.
White.
I knew it.
Reggie White was one of them. You got
Von
that?
Curse.
No, it was Peyton Manning.
Hey, you like Peyton Manning?
I did.
Oh,
I liked Peyton Manning. I've only liked two Tennessee players ever in my entire life. And that's football. I can't think of any Tennessee basketball players that I've ever liked. Reggie White, the Minister of Defense, was, I mean, in my opinion, he's the best defensive end that I've ever seen.
swim move all day.
Absolutely. And he'd take that club. I mean, he just club body. Bam. Get out of my way.
And usually when he was playing, you had Brown as a defensive tackle that was in there that was really pushing in, pushing the line. And then Reggie White would just spin move, go around the outside, sack.
He was pretty much unstoppable. I loved me some Reggie White and was very sad at 43 years old the day he died of a heart attack.
You love Bruce Pearl.
No, I hated Bruce Pearl when he was
What?
at Tennessee, but
I am shocked to hear this.
I've grown to like Bruce Pearl.
That's because he had to go and humble himself.
A little, just a little bit.
He stopped taking his jacket off, and you can't see him sweating through all those white shirts that he always wore.
Yeah, Kevin Thacker says Allen Houston was a great basketball player from Tennessee. He was. I still wasn't all that. I mean, okay, here's Wade Houston. I think was way overrated. And he rode Allen Houston as a basketball coach for a long time. And as soon as he didn't have Allen Houston as his player, Wade Houston's career as a D1 high coach was pretty much over. So, anyways. So, Kevin Thacker, we did a preview show last night. I did pick Kentucky to win. I do, however, think that Iowa is going to be right in there. So, we'll go through. That's the next game we're going to talk about, actually. So,
your favorite backup quarterback is Todd Helton.
Are you going Clemson?
Yes, Clemson. I've already said it.
All right. So then we're at Iowa and UK in the Music City Bowl. All right.
Oh, brother.
Well, we did a preview show last night. Y'all catch it. We had a guest on, NFL Outdated, was on with us last night, and he is an Iowa fan and brought a lot of insight to the game, and we had fun talking with him last night. So y'all check that show out. On YouTube channel or Twitch or Twitter, Facebook Live. We had fun with that.
Yes, we did. We had a lot of fun with NFL Outdated, and
His name is Andy from NFL
Andy.
Outdated.
That's right. We had fun with Andy, who is like you said, an Iowa fan.
Yep.
And remember earlier I said that most bowl games, it's defense is optional. I think in this game, particularly the offense is optional.
Yeah, you're
So,
probably right.
We will be looking for the option of offense, because this has the makings of being, a 3-2 game, or like a 45-41 game where we just don't know what the heck happened.
Right. So Robert Rhodes says
weird.
Clemson in the last one, so I wanted to show that real quick. And then he also made a few predictions here, it looks like. So I was going to throw them up real quick. Clemson, Notre Dame, NC State, UCLA, and Ohio. He's the one that said he was 20-7, and I was 21-6. So
there you go.
And he's also taken Kentucky. So Daniel, you asked me where Hammonds is. Apparently, there's like his Dallas Cowboys Thursday night game on TV or something. I mean,
in Nashville, are they not in Nashville?
Who knew?
I mean, this would be the perfect time if he were to go down to Nashville. He could spend a couple of days.
Right.
Thursday, watch the boys.
Music City Bowl.
Wait a couple of days, go to the Music City Bowl.
Yep. So Daniel, that's where Hammonds is.
It's in Nashville. I don't know if that game's in Nashville or not.
I'm not sure. It's either there or Dallas.
Well, you got one of two places. That's right. Right.
I mean, yeah. He says, Daniel says he'll be in Nashville for the Music City Bowl. Can't wait. Thoughts on the QB situation? Again, I'll tell you, we had a preview show last night with NFL Outdated. Y'all check it out. But I will tell you, we talked an awful lot about the two QB situations last night. They are both likely to start a third or fourth string quarterback tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Saturday. So the situation, both of these quarterbacks, Daniel, are a little bit more mobile. We talked about that last night. I do expect maybe both of these teams to have a little more spread offense and a little more running from the quarterback as an option that we have not seen throughout the year because of the quarterbacks that's going to play. So we don't exactly know what this game is going to look like. It's going to be a different game, and the defenses are going to try to carry the show. So that's my take on this game. I picked Kentucky last night in our NFL Outdated preview show that we did, Music City Bowl. He's an Iowa fan. I picked him 21-17, and that's what I'm going to stick with. So on here. So
I did not pick anybody because y'all didn't ask me last night. So I'm going to make my pick right now for the first time in two different shows when talking about this game. And I'm going to pick Iowa in a 13 to 9 game. And
you think Kentucky's going to make 3 field goals?
I didn't say how any of these points were scored, did I?
I just had to throw that out.
I'm still trying to figure out if they're going to score, if Iowa's going to score a touchdown.
I mean,
because I like the idea of Iowa winning a game 7-3 without scoring a touchdown.
I mean, I've had all month to practice as the long snapper, so
Yeah, you'd probably be better than the current one.
I just have
Don't
to throw
be flustered that there's somebody right in front of you that you have to block. They might be saying a lot of mean and nasty things.
Yeah,
you've got to just block that out. then you snap it, and then you block. Don't try to
Robert
do
Rhodes,
anything
there's
else.
a lot of Kentucky fans that liked Chris Lofton because he's from Kentucky. So I'll give you that one as well.
Is he the one with cancer?
Yeah, I think he was diagnosed with some cancer a few years back. I'm pretty sure he was. But he was a great shooter. I just don't like Tennessee, guys. I don't know what else to say.
But you like Tennessee whiskey.
I like Kentucky bourbon better.
Kind of walked right into that one, didn't I?
I like Kentucky bourbon better. That's all I'm going to say. Yep.
Yeah, I could see that. Like I said, walked right into that one.
All right, Daniel, what do you got here? Daniel said something else at the bottom. What did he say?
He said something. He said he forgot about that. He has to watch his Cowboys. In reference to John not being on the show.
Oh, okay. So Kentucky, Alabama, Michigan, Georgia. That's who Robert's going with. Forgot about that. He's got to watch his Cowboys. You're exactly right. I don't know. I tried to get him to talk about the Wyoming Cowboys, but he wasn't satisfied.
I really just wanted to hear what kind of rant he was going to go on.
Yeah, he talked about he had a big rant for the Kentucky basketball stuff, and then he just ghosted on us. I mean, I don't know.
Too many ghosts around here.
No, I'm just messing with Hammonds. But
yeah, the ghost of Kentucky past. The ghost of that which we will not name present.
Yep. Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Kansas State.
Oh, Nelly.
10-2 Alabama against
Versus
10-3 Kansas State.
Yep.
The Wildcats. I'm going to assume that Martinez is going to be back for this game. And I know that Bryce Young and Will Anderson are playing, and they've made a big deal that they are opting in. So, whoa, Nelly. Robert Rose says roll tide.
I can't say those words.
Yeah, he's an Auburn fan.
That's good. So you got a pick, or are you rolling with them as well, or are you?
In a normal situation here, I've seen Alabama lay an egg in this game, and I'm not just mean the Sugar Bowl. I mean when they miss the college football playoff. And they're playing the next biggest game.
Likes of Oklahoma. Right.
Yeah,
got it.
Right.
In the Sugar Bowl.
Right. And I've seen them lay an egg here. However, I think Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr. is going to keep that from happening. They've made a huge deal about playing in this game and talking about how they were going to finish the season and that, they're going to finish what they started, and they're going to teach all their guys that they're not going to quit on their team and everything else. So I'm going to go with Alabama in this game because of that. I'm going to say roll tide.
I'm going to agree with your pick. I'm not going to say those words, but I will say that this game will be a 25-plus point spread.
Wow, you think so? Alabama's favored 6.5 in this game.
Yeah, well, they're going to win by more than 25. So,
okay,
it's going to be a beatdown in the Big Easy.
Okay.
So
then we got the college football playoff bowls tomorrow. The college football playoff semifinals. I keep saying tomorrow, Saturday. I know what day it is, but
Saturn's Day.
Yeah. 2 days from now. So we've got the first game is TCU versus Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl. And the second game is Ohio State versus Georgia in the Peach Bowl. It's going to be a fun day of football to just kick back and watch these games. I know a lot of people. I've been talking to some people. I actually stayed with a former college football player, Kentucky college football player, the last few days. And he's my brother-in-law. That's why I stayed with him. We had family, Christmas, and everything. Anyways, and we've been doing a lot of talking, and he's a big college football fan, has lots of friends, and even he says there's not a lot of people giving TCU a shot in this game. So I just kind of want to throw that out there. Now, my brother-in-law played at UK when Sonny Dykes was an assistant coach there, so he knows Sonny Dykes really well, and I'm sure he's probably going to be pulling for TCU. Now, does he think that TCU is going to win? I'm not so sure, but deep down, I'm sure he's probably going to be pulling for TCU, especially with the Mike Leach stuff that went on. So,
did you see what Texas Tech did?
Yeah, they lined up in the air raid formation and took a penalty.
Right. Yep.
Against Ole Miss, actually, ironically, which was Mike Leach's last game. Coached his last game against Ole Miss.
Right.
And did you see what Dana Holgorsen did with Houston?
I did not. What did they do?
Him and like 3 or 4 of his coaches. You know how Mike Leach wore the State sweatshirt that said State across it? Yeah. Him and like 3 or 4 of his coaches wore State sweatshirts during the bowl game with Houston.
I gotcha.
So it was a good tribute for that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Sweet.
I think Michigan's got a lot better defense than people are kind of giving them credit for. I think everybody wants to talk about their rushing attack, which they do have a great rushing attack. I do believe Michigan's got a better defense than what gets talked about. Let's just put it that way. I'm not sure if you're going to call it credit for, but what gets talked about. However, I really like, and I butchered his name as well, Duggins. Is that right?
Max Duggan.
See, I butchered his name all season.
See?
I know. I tried to think of it.
Let me see you, Duggan.
And I am a Sonny Dykes fan. He does the air raid, and I really like to see TCU win this game. And I'm going to even take it a little bit deeper. I'm not really all that fond of Jim Harbaugh. I haven't really talked about him all season long. I'm just not a big Jim Harbaugh fan.
Is that because he played for the Chicago Bears?
Maybe long time ago, but it has a little bit to do. So Jim Harbaugh's dad was the Western coach.
John Sr., right?
Well, Jack is what everybody called him.
That's right, Jack. That's right, Jack.
Yeah, Jack Harbaugh.
It's really John, but Jack. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. His dad coached Western Kentucky University for a lot of years, and he really was he was known as a prick.
Well, most head coaches are.
I mean, he was known as a prick. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Again, and Jim Harbaugh is kind of known as a prick.
Yeah.
How about his brother John? John Harbaugh is a little bit better than I kind of like John Harbaugh a little bit. Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
I like better than I do the other two.
So were you rooting for the Ravens or the 49ers in that Super Bowl?
Oh, definitely the Ravens.
Is that because the 49ers put the Packers out?
Yes, I don't like the 49ers at all. Never have.
Is that because Aaron Rodgers can't win in his hometown of San Francisco or in the state of California?
It has something to do with that. It also has something to do with Brett Favre struggled in the early 90s against them as well.
In the state of California? What is it about the Packers in the state of California?
Yeah, so I remember all that. So I've never been a 49ers fan. I just don't like the 49ers. But matter of fact, I joke with Hammonds about the Cowboys, but deep down, I dislike the 49ers more than I do the Cowboys.
Now, rank these teams, okay? The Bears, the Cowboys, and the 49ers. Of worst to least. I don't know. The one you hate the most to the one you hate the least.
I'm telling you, it might be the 49ers and then the Bears and then the Cowboys.
That's
it might be. Like, I really don't like the 49ers.
Now, let's throw in the Jets.
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 All right. Can we get back to this bowl game?
Sure. Who you got?
Gosh, it's really hard for me to pick Michigan.
Then don't.
But damn it, I think that's who's going to win.
You can always do this. You can always just sit around and go.
I think that's who's going to win. So I'm going to break down and say Michigan. And we're going to have I'm just going to say it. We're going to have a repeat from last year, Georgia and Michigan.
Yep. So you're already picking Georgia. So go Big Blue. Yes. And then I too will pick Georgia over Ohio State. And I won't even add the because I don't believe in the article the for Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not.
That's right.
Okay, so I will say this about Ohio State since I didn't really talk about this game. I really, really, really like Stroud and Marvin Harrison Jr. as a connection. I'm really impressed and been impressed all season long with Marvin Harrison Jr. And I mean, in my opinion, I think he should receiver taken in the draft. He's got the best footwork a kid out of college that I may have ever seen. I'm not sure. I mean, this kid can get that foot down better than anybody. Falling out of bounds, back of the end zone. I mean, he's pretty special.
Yes, and I really love Marvin Harrison Jr. as well, and really wish that he had a quarterback that could throw it to him.
I just don't think Ohio
State he would do much better in a system where he had a quarterback.
I just don't. It's the defense. Robert Rhodes is saying Michigan and go Dogs.
Yeah, there's no Bosa coming out that door, coming out that.
Hey
tunnel.
Man, we got bar banter on with us, and they are the worst. He says, "Ha ha."
Yes.
Talking about
there are a bunch of dogs over there. There are a bunch of dogs over there in Atlanta. So
yeah,
the bar banter, because it's not your podcast, it's ours. You're just along for the ride.
So I've got, like I said, a rematch, Michigan and Georgia. And we're not going to pick the winner of the championship game yet because we can do that next week.
Yes, we have to have the winner of this week first before we can pick the winner of next week.
Yeah.
So just a quick math there. We should do the first one first. And then once we see the results, then we do the other one. Because if you
Our
assume the
banter, we
results,
appreciate you being on with us.
he liked my tagline.
Tonight.
They liked
Yeah.
the tagline.
Yeah, that you might join us next week. So we look forward to that. And if not, we'll do it the next week. But I know that
Brad, I've got a question for you.
I know we're trying to line stuff up.
I'm going to ask this one question. We're starting a restaurant. It's going to be Elvis themed. I need a dish that is taking the name of an Elvis song or an Elvis theme, and make it, name it.
A dish of an Elvis theme or song.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a drink. I'm gonna give you a drink right now. Okay. All shook up martinis.
Okay.
Yep. See. All shook up, baby. Hey.
Yeah. I got you. I don't know. I'm trying to think Jailhouse Rock something, but.
And what would you say with that?
I don't know. I'm not good at this. You're playing a game I'm not good at. So.
I'm playing a game that the bar banter was playing earlier today. And,
is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he said so good.
Yeah. See, I'm playing along.
I mean,
with something.
I honestly haven't thought of names of Jailhouse Rock. He says Jailhouse Salad Rock or something. He said
Jailhouse Salad Rock.
Jailhouse Salad Rock.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
All right, so we got 4 quick bowl games: Mississippi State and Illinois in the Real Quest Bowl on Monday, January 2nd. I'm going to take Mississippi State for Mike Leach in this game. Roberts
said Mississippi State
and Illinois. They're both 8-4. Mississippi State's favorite.
Speaking of Illinois, Altmaier just committed to Illinois.
Okay.
The Ole Miss backup.
The Ole Miss backup, yeah.
Yes.
Mississippi State's favored by 1.5 after Leach died, them losing their coach. So.
Yeah. How many of their players that transferred out are going to play? Are they none of them?
You talking about for Mississippi State?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I know that they are kind of rallying behind Zach Arnett. So maybe most of them will.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go Mississippi State, and I'm going to give you a name of a song, okay? In the Spaghetto. Love Me Chicken Tender.
Love Me Chicken Tender. That's pretty good.
There you go. See, there you go.
I like that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Those are ones I threw out earlier today.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So Tulane, USC in the Cotton Bowl. They're both 11-2. Tulane's getting a shot with the big boys. And USC kind of fell off at the end, had a chance, got beat by Notre Dame. I don't think Caleb – is Caleb playing?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
He got hurt too. So
yeah, I don't know what his injury was. I thought he tore an ACL, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm still going to go USC in this game. I really would like to see the Green Wave beat Lincoln Riley, to be honest with you, but I just don't care for the way he handled himself last year. And I hate to see him going out as winner of the Cotton Bowl, but to be honest with you, I really think that's what happens here. So I'm going to go USC.
Okay, so you want to see it, and I'm going to call it Green Wave over USC.
Okay. Hey, Hammonds, nobody cares about the Cowboys.
Those are Cowboys versus aliens because that's what the Titans are. They're just aliens.
And then we got LSU and Purdue in the Citrus Bowl, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. So there's actually a Cheez-It Bowl and a Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, that's weird. Because Capital One's no longer the Citrus Bowl.
Right. So LSU 9-4, Purdue 8-5. Of course, Purdue's lost their coach. I'm going to go LSU and Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I want to, but again, I guess because
Brahms
really,
in Louisville. If
I
Brahm
would
was
think
in Purdue, maybe at Purdue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll go LSU. Mainly, I think that even though they really didn't have a real shot of being in, I think they're in a much better position than what they probably thought they were preseason and everything like that. So,
Yeah, I
in
think
all
so.
honesty, they would be, they should be, I guess, quote unquote, motivated to play in this game, even though that they had played in the SEC championship game. They did have that bad loss right before the SEC championship game when they lost to A&M.
Hammonds is bringing up that Drew Brees is a interim assistant coach in this game with Purdue,
Which is great.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean a
I've
daggum thing.
never heard of an interim assistant coach. Have you?
He will be assisting the interim coach.
I don't. Never heard of that. But
That's right.
okay.
That's it. That's great.
What's really going on is they are using Drew Brees while he's an interim assistant coach, he can
for
recruit.
recruiting. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
He can recruit. That's really what's going on.
And so when you can put a recently retired Super Bowl winning quarterback in the living rooms of these kids, recruiting for your school because he is a former player at said school, then
Right.
yes, that's exactly what they did. They did
That's
it that
exactly
way
what's
on
going on.
purpose, and
Yeah.
this is why they did it. It's but no. Yeah, I'm still gonna go LSU.
Hammond says he's the interim manager for me.
Harvey Dent.
And then the last game is the Rose Bowl, and we've got Penn State versus Utah. And these are ranked 8th and 11th in the country, so it's kind of a game that I started the season out picking Utah to win in a big game, and I'm going to end the season minus the championship game, picking Utah to win a game. And I seem to recall the first time I did that didn't really work out too well for me.
As the sun sets over the San Gabriel Mountains here in Pasadena, California, we have the Utah Utes. What is a Ute, by the way? As so eloquently said in My Cousin Vinny, I believe that's the movie. What's a Ute?
Yeah.
And the Penn State Nittany Lions. Yeah, we're gonna go Utah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Utah.
And Paul Harvey and the rest of the story, I used to tell people all the time that Paul Harvey was my uncle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I used to tell people that all the time because I got asked so many times if I was related to Paul Harvey growing up. And I used to tell people no, no, no. And I got so tired of answering the question, I used to just laugh and say, yep, he's my uncle.
People have always asked me, are you related to Landrum Roberts? And I just said, no, I'm not.
Look, here's Hammond. You kin to Paul Harvey? I'm telling you, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that used to ask me that when I was growing up.
Love you, Landrum. Sorry. I mean, he got mad at me for calling the A&M over LSU game. Said don't
do that. He said don't do that.
Don't put mud on don't rub mud on the name of Roberts. For calling the A&M over LSU.
I do recall that.
I believe I was right.
Well, the sun shines on a I won't finish that, Roberts.
Right on.
Just messing with you, man. Just messing with you.
Yes,
all right, so that
Jake
kind
the
of
snake.
Jake
Yes.
the Snake.
Ken to Jake the Snake. Yes, does not have the same last name at all. Plummer Roberts,
Yeah.
Plummer Harvey, Plummer Hammonds. I don't know.
Speaking of Jake Plummer, explain this to me. So, quarterback from Purdue transfers out to like California or somewhere. He played this year.
Okay.
And then he puts his name in the portal and transfers to Louisville, where Jeff Brom is. And he transferred from Jeff Brom at Purdue because he lost the starting job. What? Why would you go back to a coach that you transferred away from because you lost the starting job?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was trying to think if there was ever any other.
I mean, what?
I've heard of a lot of players that have followed the coach because they liked the coach and they were there, but nobody's ever lost a starting job, transferred away from a coach, and then and then that coach leaves, former school and goes to another, and then you transfer back into that coach. I mean, outside the fact that you are very familiar with everything that they do,
yeah.
But then at that point, you got to you got to figure out, what's, maybe they liked the coach and they just lost the job because
and
they
he
weren't
lost the job in Purdue. The Purdue's quarterback was a former walk-on.
Well, that's bad. You lost it to a walk-on.
He was a former walk-on. Purdue's quarterback was.
Speaking of walk-on.
And then he transfers back to Brom at Louisville.
Yeah.
I'm not quite getting that one.
I feel like he was just going in circles.
Yeah. Hopefully Louisville don't have a walk-on.
Yeah, well, they might because of how bad they were. They might have had a few walk-ons. They may have been like, "Hey, we're going out into the stands today. We're going to just handpick
surely
students."
Malik Cunningham is done. I mean, he's only played 7 years.
Well, what you still got a couple of COVID years, right?
Okay,
no,
maybe he's played 5 or 6, but he's played a long time at Louisville.
I'd like to see if somebody has a decade of eligibility with the same sport.
Oh, speaking of that, just since I brought it up, I saw, and I can't remember the dude's name now, but I saw a guy
in college for 8 years.
He was granted a 9th year of eligibility. What? For the upcoming year, this dude was just granted a 9th year.
How are you granted a 9th? At some point in time, they just got to go, no.
I mean, the kid is now a grown man that's like,
Go be a GA.
he's like 27 or something.
Yeah. Most 27-year-old college football players, there's two different kinds. They're the Mormons who went and did their 4 years
Or they went and played baseball for 3 or 4 years.
Well, I was getting to that one. That was going to be the second reason.
Yeah.
But you have all those that are Mormon that go and do your mission for 4 years, and then you come back and you start for whatever it is, and
yeah,
you come
like
back
BYU does that sometimes.
2 years. It's 2 years, or is it 4 years?
It used to be 2. I'm not sure if it's 4, but it used to be 2.
Either way, so a lot of BYU, Utah, any of those,
right?
Were and I know we're really categorizing wherever where everybody is, but that's just a high concentration. But there, and then of course there's like the Chris Winkies and guys like that played baseball for 3-4 years, minor league baseball, and came back and played college football. You could be guys like Brandon Cox was like this, where you gray shirt for a year, you red shirt, gray shirt,
this dude,
and then have 4 years.
I noticed, like, he's been injured twice
and was granted eligibility beyond 1 year of the injury. That's what's crazy.
He lost 2 full years because of injuries. I did catch that. Of course, one of them is an extra COVID year, I think. One of them was a regular red shirt year, I think.
Yeah, there was a regular red shirt year.
All right, so that's 4 years. And then the 4 years playing, but he was just granted a 9th year. What? I don't understand.
I just need him to only play 3 games and get granted a 10th. Just so he can go 10.
I don't understand. I mean, the NCAA does some of the dumbest things when it comes to this stuff. By the way, while I'm talking about all this with granted years and all this stuff, man, what happened to the rule that you could transfer and put your name in the portal and transfer to a new school once? What happened to that rule?
I don't know. Everybody fought it.
Guess what?
They did the one, and then they fought the
but it's never been changed. It's still in the wording.
Yeah. So who was that quarterback that went from like Ohio State to Texas to Miami to wherever, transferred every year, maybe transferred twice in 1 year?
JT Daniels is doing it.
JT Daniels is in the process of visiting every conference right now. So he's
Gatewood is doing it.
Joey Gatewood is where did he go from? Did he go to UCF?
Yes, he's been at UCF. They switched him to a wide receiver. He still wears number 7. Wide receiver wearing number 7.
He was number 1 at Auburn, was he not?
I think so. I think that's what he was at. He's been at Auburn. He's been at Kentucky. He's been at UCF. And
so he's transferring from UCF?
Yes.
He needs to go to SMU.
I just like,
send him to SMU.
What is the deal with these kids getting to put their name in the? I joked that JT Daniels was like 27 and that he doesn't have any more eligibility, and they're still letting him put his name in the transfer portal.
Yeah. What has he decided on a school?
I haven't heard. I don't know.
I hope it's a Big Ten school.
I hope,
just so that he can have a either because he's already done Big 12. He needs to either do ACC or Big 10. That's where he needs to go.
I
Just
actually
so
hope
he can tour. He's been in the Pac-12, he's been in the SEC, and he's been in the Big 12. So now he needs to go to either the Big 10 or the ACC.
I'm actually hoping that he finds a desk job.
Well, I mean, he can always just take headshots where he looks like Uncle Rico.
I mean,
that's what he
at
was doing
some
with
point,
Turtleneck
man. I mean,
and the whatever
Yeah.
excuse of a mustache he had.
Yeah.
He
at
was
some point you gotta quit letting these kids. I mean, it looks pitiful after a while.
true, but I don't know. Yeah.
So as far as I know, a couple of these kids that I'm talking about, JT Daniels, Gatewood, there's a couple of more that off the top of my head that I'm missing.
Keaton Slovis.
Slovis has found a he's going to BYU.
Right,
Slovis is going
that's
to
his
BYU.
third school.
Yeah, but Slovis is going to BYU.
How about who was the receiver that kept going back and forth between Texas and USC? I can't remember the guy's name.
No, me either. Not right off the top of my head. I can't remember.
I have to look at one of their rosters because he had committed to one, then decommitted, committed to the other, decommitted, signed with one, then transferred before the first season to the other.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, my point is this: with some of these kids, if I was a school at this point, I wouldn't even want the image that I would be interested in somebody like that.
What about the name?
What do you mean, like JT Daniels?
Or the likeness?
I
You
just
didn't want
wouldn't.
the image. I was just going name and likeness. Sorry.
I wouldn't. If I was a big time Power 5 school, I would not want to touch JT Daniels. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I could see that.
That it was me, or that I would say that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I promise you.
Yep.
And Joey Gatewood, he needs to go, I don't know, play minor league baseball or something.
Might have success.
I mean, he is athletic, so,
Yeah.
maybe he can go play minor league baseball.
Maybe.
All right. I probably went a little too far. I'm kind of joking a little bit, but I'm kind of not. What I'm not joking about is I think it's very sad that the NCAA lets these kids do this. I think it hurts the college game. I think it hurts these kids. I also think it hurts the schools as well. And transferring out once is one thing. Transferring out 3 and 4 times is pitiful, in my opinion. So,
Yep. Exactly.
all right. So we didn't get to any basketball this time, but we're running about an hour and 20 minutes. So we'll probably wrap this up. Basketball, our two teams are not looking all that great. Did Auburn pull out their
Auburn?
Did Auburn they pull it out the other night against Florida?
I wrote it in the chat while we were doing our
was it 2 or something?
3 or 4.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I remember.
They were
that.
They were up like 2 or whatever, and then hit a bucket real late to kind of seal the deal.
I'm ready to.
Then,
I quit watching my team the other night, so I didn't watch the second half.
UAB beat UTEP tonight. I believe it was 79-73 in double overtime.
They got one of the leading scorers in the country on their team.
That's right, Jelly Walker.
Yep. We'll get to some more basketball maybe on Tuesday night. We are doing a post-game show on Saturday night, and we will talk about the current game that's playing, which would be TCU and Michigan, because we're doing it at 4 o'clock Central Time. So that game will be playing. So we'll kind of throw some TCU and Michigan talk in there and maybe update a few things with Ohio State and Georgia. And we're doing a Big Blue post-game show, and that's because Kentucky and Louisville are playing in basketball, and the Music City Bowl, Iowa and Kentucky. I'm going to tell you right now, my plan is to watch Iowa and Kentucky in the Music City Bowl. I am until Kentucky starts playing and looking like Kentucky basketball, I'm not so sure that I'm going to watch too much of it.
Gotcha.
It's pitiful. It's sad. I've been doing it 48 years, and I have never in my lifetime seen a Kentucky basketball team the last. I do want to throw one tidbit out. I found this very interesting. The last 75 games, okay, UK football is 47-28.
In the last how many years?
Last 75 games.
Last 75 games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
UK football is 47-28.
Okay.
The last 75 games, UK basketball is 46-29.
And that's why Stoops was going for a bigger contract than Calipari, and rightfully deserves it.
If you're a Kentucky fan, that is an absolute monster of a statement. I just want to throw that out there. 75 games is a lot of games to
look at. 2 full seasons. It's about 2 full seasons.
In basketball.
Yes, in basketball. And 75 games in football is about 6 years.
Yeah. That's a lot of basketball games, to look at. 75 games is. In the last 75 games, Kentucky football has a better win percentage and more wins than Kentucky basketball.
Right. And they've done it over a longer period of time, which means that they've done it over, that they've been more consistent in their efforts. And that when Kentucky basketball has been bad, it's been really bad. Versus, Kentucky football is just like, it's just steadily trotting along.
Yep. I mean, you figure that up. So that is basically about 0.614 win percentage in football.
You said it was 48 and 75, or 48 and 27, right?
Yeah.
So, 0.64.
And basketball is 146 of their last 75 games.
0.613. Repeating.
If you're a Kentucky fan, that's a huge telling stat. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Since we talked about football mostly in this show, I'm going to end it on a stat that includes Kentucky football and basketball. So we'll end it at that. I mean, it's just I never in my lifetime would have ever thought that over any, I mean, honestly, even if you say 10 games, any stretch of games, to be honest with you, that Kentucky football would have a better record than Kentucky basketball, I would have said that you're crazy. But 75 games is a lot of football games. A lot.
I guess it's about 6 years.
I mean, that's
plus.
a lot of football games. And with the COVID year, 75 games is 3 seasons in basket. 3 plus what they played this year, or 2 plus what they played this year.
Do they not play 40 games?
The COVID year, we only played 25. We lost several games and were canceled. And then we the year after COVID,
In 21?
Yeah. Not the year that they canceled everything in March, the year after
Right.
that.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2021.
Right. We only played, and he had a losing record, by the way.
That's not right. 25 games? No, that would have been a full season.
They were 9-16.
Sorry, 20 to 21. That's what it would have been. It would have been 20 to 21. 20 to 21. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been 20 to 21. Yeah.
Right. And then 21 to 22 was normal.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you're playing in front of nobody.
Right. Yeah, there was nobody in the stands and all that good stuff. Yeah. Yep. So what I'm saying to you is that it's 2 years plus this year. So 12 games in.
Right.
Yeah. So 2.5 years basically in basketball. And in football, it's basically about 6 years. Like I said, 75 games in football is a lot of games.
Correct.
Most coaches don't even last 75 games.
Yeah, that's Brian Harsin.
Harrison.
Correct.
Sorry, man. I had to.
I know.
All right, man. We're going to wrap this up. Just
Yeah,
have a little fun here. I couldn't help it, man.
You could stick a fork in us. We're done.
All right. So Reaper Apparel Company is one of our sponsors right now. You can use SportsCast 10 for a 10% discount. We're also being sponsored by Swift Grips Company. I don't have it on the screen, but you can just listen to me. You can do CSCast 10 at swiftgrips.net and place an order there. It's a gaming company. They have little grips that goes on our controllers, and they have T-shirts and a few other things as well that you can order from them. And we're being sponsored by them as well. Follow us on our Linktree page, and I'll get it pulled up here. Whoops, hit the wrong one. Whoops. Our Linktree page, there we go. Follow us on Linktree, College Sportscast. We're doing this live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and my Twitter, Brad CSCast. And then we are also being featured on the Real Fresh channel, YouTube channel. You can check us out on Sunday evenings. They have other things that they post on there as well. You can see some of them, wrestling events and comedy and pro sports. That's where NFL Outdated is as well sometimes. So you can check them out there. Anything else you want
Let's talk.
to talk about?
Let's
Oh
talk
yeah,
sports.
let's talk sports. We're being featured on their channel as well. So they have a YouTube channel that you can check out. It's called like they really have probably 100 sports podcasts, and they don't do everybody's all of them, but they pick and choose. And I think we have like 3 or 4 up right now on their channel that you can like find and follow some of our shows on Let's Talk Sports. So I think that's it, and we appreciate you being on with us, and we always have a little fun. So for me and Roberts, College SportsCast, we'll say goodnight, and we will catch you Saturday for our big blue post-game New Year's Eve show.